Where does Industry 5.0 come from? How did the Industry 5.0 concepts emerge? We are yet to complete the implementation of Industry 4.0.
Actually, when we look back to almost, I think it was in 2011, Industry 4.0 term was first coined by the German industry at the Hanover Fair. Then that is where the world started talking about Industry 4.0 as the fourth industrial revolution. Now, 2000, I think it was 2017, there is an exhibition called CeBIT, which happens in Germany. So, in fact, Japan had first time spoken of this term Society 5.0. So, actually, it is very interesting when we look at Industry 5.0, it is actually, you could say, an evolution of Industry 4.0. Using the human factor or giving importance, making it more human-centric. So these are the background of the term Industry 4.0, and I think especially during the pandemic, this has more relevance because we have become much more aware of the human factor, the human life, of environment, also resilience. And I think all these have culminated, and now the talk, I think we will shift more from Industry 4.0 as a term to Industry 5.0. But I think this would be more or less, you could say, the inception or the evolution of this term Industry 5.0. Industry 4.0, I have always mentioned in various forums that Industry 4.0 is actually a journey. It's not a destination that you are looking to achieve. It's a journey which you have to cover step by step or in stages. It will be a continuous phase. Of course, to what extent individual companies can adopt 4.0 would also largely be influenced by the individual company, because it is not a black box that everyone can just adopt. One has to look at, that's why we use the term low-hanging fruits. So you look at where you can start with the steps of automation. For example, in some machines, you capture the data. Then this data can be transferred. So you need to have the possibility to transfer this data. And your advantage is you're getting real-time data. And based on this real-time data, you can take remedial action. For example, remote monitoring or condition monitoring. If there is going to be a big breakdown in the machine, so there will be certain parameters like bearing temperatures will increase. So you can capture this real-time data and take action, suitable action. Because earlier what was happening, we were dependent, say, in a traditional manufacturing process. Maybe at the beginning of the week on Mondays, the supervisor would have the data of all the machines and he would analyze it. But what happened in that case, already the breakdown of the machine would have occurred because you were not looking at real-time data. But here we are looking at real-time data, and because we are getting access to real-time data, we can take suitable action also. Because to your question, no, I don't think so. We are through with the implementation of Industry 4.0. And this journey of Industry 4.0 will continue. But I think new concept, what we are talking of Industry 4.0, is actually integrating the human factor in this Industry 4.0 and perhaps making it more wholesome as well as giving it the human factor to it.
Industry 5.0 is known as the Industrial Revolution with a soul. Industry 5.0 versus Industry 4.0. What's the difference?
I think it's a very relevant and very pertinent question, because in Industry 4.0 was essentially driven by cyber-physical convergence, using technology like IoT, digitalization, maybe additive manufacturing also. So What we are doing now, we are saying, yes, Industry 4.0, machines are interconnected, data is being transferred. But what we are adding to this concept is that we are saying that the humans will come into play here. And for example, I'll give a very simple example which I think explains this concept very well, is collaborative robots. So you had the robots which were performing the tasks earlier, but now we are talking of collaborative robots, which is an actually collaboration between man and machine. So the worker, instead of the concept of robots replacing the worker, the robots are working in close collaboration with the worker or with the human. And this activity of machine with humans together will help to produce better quality products, will also help to increase the productivity of the humans.
Okay.
And also, jobs can be undertaken which perhaps were risky for humans, for the human life, or which were dangerous in nature, and which were also polluting. So that's why this is a very good example of understanding, I think, this human-centric activity or collaboration between humans and machines. And I would just like to end with, I think there is a definition which I came across from Frost and Sullivan, which I would like to share, which I think really explains this very well. So it says Industry 5.0 is a model of the next level of industrialization characterized by return of manpower to the factories, with distributed production, intelligent supply chain, and hyper customization, all delivered to give a tailored customer experience.
Okay.
In Industry 4.0, we were talking about mass customization. And in Industry 5.0, we are enhancing that term from mass customization to mass personalization. So we are saying that the products can be tailor-made for the requirement, for the specific requirement of the companies or the entities.
Okay.
And I think that's where we would say it is a progressive step from Industry 4.0.
Okay.
What are the challenges and issues addressed by Industry 5.0?
So when we're talking about Industry 4.0, actually what will happen is the evolution of the work also. The nature of work will change. After the worker who was perhaps working on the factory, on the shop floor, he will have to be skilled. His skill needs to be enhanced, reskilled, because he's not just doing one type of work. He has to do multiple activities together. And I think that will be one of the challenges, is this reskilling of the existing manpower. Also, we have to look at the factor, like we would say that Industry 4.0, when we spoke about Industry 4.0, perhaps since we were only, the main focus was on machinery. We were talking about interconnected machinery, seamless transfer of data from machine to machine. So in a way, one could say it had this feeling of cold feeling, because we are not talking about humans at all here. Whereas in Industry 4.0, we are adding that human factor and saying that together it will be a progress, step-by-step progress of machines with the humans together. And certainly in this, as I said, one is reskilling will have to be adopted for the human factor. And also, of course, there will be funding requirement also, because you are trying to bring the human factor back, trying to generate new type of jobs. But I'm sure once it picks up, this will create new jobs in the market. I always give the example, for example, when the shared taxi or the app service taxi started, there was a lot of apprehension that maybe the traditional taxis would go out of business. But what we have seen with the app-based taxis or shared mobility coming into place, it has generated a new sort of jobs. In fact, it has enhanced many folds the existing jobs and made it more convenient. The customer has more choice for selection. So I think these are all evolution phases which will go step by step. And as we go ahead, perhaps different challenges will come up, which will be difficult to anticipate at this stage. But I think one moves ahead, one will have certain challenges coming, and one will have to also look at solutions to overcome these challenges.
What are the key components of Industry 5.0?
So when we talk about these components of Industry 5.0, certainly I think the machine aspect, the technology aspect remains. Here the role of the humans becomes more important because we are also talking about very personalized products. So a typical, like another example I would share is typically maybe in the healthcare sector, where complicated operations can be undertaken in remote location by robots. But these robots are behind being guided by humans. So the robot is performing the operation, but behind them is the human mind or the human intellect, the human experience, which is guiding the robot to perform this particular complex operation. So I think a beautiful example, because you can see it is where the human knowledge is coming, the human experience is coming to play, and perhaps the precision of the robot or the technology of the robot for this operation is coming into play. So I think this is going to be a very, very nice and a very smooth interplay of technology and the human mind and the human intellect coming together for this Industry 5.0. Maybe I will like to just address it for the Indian scenario, or because in India we have a lot of MSMEs, micro, small, medium-sized enterprises. In fact, we have 63 million MSMEs in India, and 99% of them employ less than 10 people. So I think when we talk about Industry 5.0, I think for the MSMEs, this will be very useful, because you're not only talking about here machinery or technology, you are utilizing the human factor also. So I think in a way it will be a very good adoption for the MSMEs, where their experience, their manpower, they can utilize, but have the support of technology also in place, which will help them to really, I think one is give the products that they make, give the products a boost, what they are making, as well as increase the productivity of these enterprises. So I think in the Indian context, especially this Industry 5.0 will have a key role to play. And maybe I'll just like to conclude with one statement, I think. So we can say Industry 5.0 is a complement to Industry 4.0 and mainly focuses on sustainable, human-centric, and resilient industry. So I think this would be my concluding statement.